So now I have had the recall, and this is where MK Ultra programming came in after this ritual. So in this ritual, it was to do with dogs that were unleashed. I only remember two, and they were, these dogs. When I remember these dogs, they're not quite right dogs. There's something about them that's, I don't know if they're really possessed, if they've been, but yeah, they seem to know and go after and behave in ways that they are very, very programmed. So anyway, there were dogs, and there was violence and raping, and but what happened in this scenario was a man was put in there, and he felt his energy, because I feel everything through energy. His energy felt quite priestly, quite sort of priestly and pure. And what he did was that he came into this scene, and he was trying to protect me from these dogs, and he was shielding me with his body. So I was naked, he was naked. I was, I guess in my psyche, I was expecting that I was going to be raped by him, but instead he was shielding me with his body, and I could feel, I was started to feel like I was being saved. Sorry. I started to feel like he was saving me. I started to feel like there was some hope of getting out of this scenario, because in these scenarios, there's never any hope to get out. You're absolutely trapped. There's nowhere to go. It's so orchestrated. It's like so psychological. It's just incredible. Anyway, he was shielding me with his body, and then it was like he must have been getting stabbed from behind or something, because I could hear his body start to collapse and him dying, sort of thing. And then I don't remember, because I still can't remember the most horrific. And so what happens is that the body remembers what it's safe to remember at any given time. If it's too traumatic, then our body will still keep it down. It's a safety mechanism, so we don't just go into massive psychosis and lose our way. So so I haven't seen this next part, but I just think of Carrie's role as the butcher. Bless her. So this man, I know that he was cooked, because it was like there was a balcony and a spit, and he became the sacrifice, and he became the supper at the Lord's Supper, in a scene like that, where I was sat and forced to eat part of, and I think that I choked and blacked out not long after that, and then was taken into an MK Ultra lab after that. So and this was all under the ground. Now I realize it was, and that there are very elaborate places, big spacious hall type places and structures underground, where I feel a lot of this stuff happens. And so I believe there seems to be quite elaborate things under there. Anyway, with this all of this programming, it was savior programming, and it got me in my life always searching for that one that I felt was going to save me. And it was kind of around this religious setting. Now remember, Leonardo da Vinci, he painted that, and he was a grand master mason. So it's got a lot of, there's a lot in that. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of occult, there's a lot of all sorts in that. And also, I believe it was a reframing of who Jesus actually really was. It was like an infiltration that came in, because it wasn't like that. And it wasn't all about blood and killing and sacrificing, as far as I know, with the beautiful Jesus I have now really connected into, that I was so terrifyingly afraid of for so long in my life.